All right. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight at Midnight at the Crossroads. I'm Sean.
David.
I'm Jake.
Oh, man.
Yes.
You know what? I missed doing the show last week.
Yes.
But have we had any feedback or anything back on the Brad Steiger show that you posted?
I haven't.
But, you know, how did it feel listening back to that old interview?
Very embarrassing.
It was bad?
For me, it was like I was a giant dork.
But, you know, I think we was
You were
fans.
starstruck.
But like it had some blast from the past in it.
Yeah.
Like you called in from San Diego.
Yeah. I sure
And
wasn't saying
James
yeah.
Kirkley grabbed the phone and told you not to come back, but he's got it.
Yeah, he sure did. That was good times. Good memories, good memories. How you been, man?
I'm doing good. Glad to be back.
Excellent. So we got so much to talk about tonight with the show and everything else, and I guess we'll just jump right into it. Y'all want to?
I'm hard.
Yes, sir.
Let's get started. You know, this past weekend I went to New Orleans, and I carried my son Tyrus to go on the Lord Chaz tour and see the city of New Orleans when he turns 13. I thought 13 was a really good age, and I've waited to get Jake's opinion on this, and I'm going to tell you. You know, we did Lord Chaz's tour, which is always amazing. I'll recommend it to anybody down there that has never been. But there's a new tour that's going on down there, and it's Bloody Mary's actually is doing it. You know, she's been there a while, been on tours, been on several of the Ghost Adventures TV shows, and I had a chance to meet her that Sunday. And she has actually opened, as you know, the old voodoo temple where Priestess Miriam had it one time, caught fire and burned. And Bloody Mary has actually purchased the old voodoo temple and made it a haunted museum. And what she's done is that if any of you remember the old History Channel that plays every Halloween where they talk about New Orleans, God, I lost my train of thought. What do you call it? New Orleans, that you eat people. What is it called?
Did you eat people?
Yeah, where you eat human skin. What is it called?
Cannibal?
Yeah, the New Orleans Cannibal. And it's where Addie and her fellow, I forget his name, actually had an apartment there. And what happened was that they stayed in New Orleans during Katrina, and they wrote it out and kind of became famous and so on. And as the city started coming back, the guy kind of lost his mind a little bit, and he basically jumped off a balcony of a New Orleans hotel. And then when he did, they found a note in his back pocket. And in the note back pocket led them back to their apartment, which was above the voodoo temple. And he basically has he strangled her to death. He had sex with a dead body. Then he cut her to pieces and boiled her head and her torso, and her arms. Her torso is still in the refrigerator. And what Bloody Mary has done is that she got the apartment now, and she's got the original stove where the head was cooked and the arms, and she also has the refrigerator where the torso was. It's in that apartment, and she's got all type of things in and about the room, and people give offerings there on the stove and on top of the refrigerator, and she also has an old timey seance room. I thought it was. I know that it's controversial, and that's what I want to get your guys' opinion on it, but. To me, one of the things we've always talked about if we had an occult shop is I would want a seance room, like an old timey seance room.
Yeah.
And she basically has it, and she's catching up a lot of flack from people there in New Orleans, from a lot of the tour guides, a lot of people in the paranormal community giving her a hard time about that, about having that museum, carrying them through the tour of where it occurred, doing the seances, and she also does investigations at night. The people paying to do an investigation to that apartment. And I wanted to get your guys' opinions on it.
Sounds like good business.
Absolutely. I mean, when are we going?
You know, that's what I thought. I told her that, I thought it was a great idea.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. To me, I know you get into it being morbid. I know you get into the I guess you say that the Bible thumpers that would say negative things about it. They do play with Ouija boards there, and different things. And
But isn't it set up as a museum, right? A haunted museum?
It's you walk in and it's a museum.
Okay.
And they do readings and everything else. And you go out in the courtyard. Remember where the old courtyard was? We've been there. And then you take a right and go into the apartment. And as you enter into the apartment, the bottom half is the setup as the old seance room. Mm-hmm. And they have pictures of Edgar Cayce, some of the old voodoo people in and about the room. And basically where you would do the seances. And then when you go on upstairs to the apartment, then you have like the kitchen, the bedroom, and everything else, and the stove, and you can do investigations in there.
I think it's the absolutely spot-on coolest thing anybody's done is take a museum, a place to go for seances, readings, and do the investigations, and have the original stuff in the upstairs.
Yep.
I mean, that's called winning. I mean, that I cannot wait to go down there and see that.
It's not like anybody's lying to the people that are paying money to go do it, or
No, it's real.
you know up front what's up.
Yeah,
so.
it's 100% fact. Why would you? I would love to go spend my money at a place like that because you know the story. You're in New Orleans. Mm-hmm. I mean, and you got an opportunity to investigate.
And I'm going to tell this: if you're a hobbyist with the paranormal investigations, right?
Yeah.
And you like the culture of New Orleans, and you want to go down there to on a vacation, and you want to do a fun tour. Mm-hmm. You can pay a group price, right? Mm-hmm. It's a great deal, and you get a walking tour. Mm-hmm. You get a tour of the museum and the places, and also you get to investigate or do the seance. You get 3 of the 4 or 5 things you can do. That's a great deal.
It
Absolutely.
is. To bundle it all together like that.
Yeah.
Great. I can't falter. I mean, what you gonna falter on?
You know what? Think about how we've been doing this for so long, and all the opportunities we turned down because we're not in it for the money. But maybe we should have been a little bit in it for the money, and we would have a lot more than we have now. Because we've done so much, and we've been copied so much, which is it's fine. It's the greatest compliment you can ever have. But what she's doing, she's never made a mistake. Any ifs, ands, and buts about it is that when she does these tours, I mean that's her livelihood.
The funny thing is, where I think about something would be, what if it isn't the original stove? Well, it is now.
Yeah. It is now.
With all the offerings.
They give offerings there. I mean, it absolutely
If
is
it was
now.
the original stove, why would you? You see what I'm saying?
Yep. And she played an EVP that she'd got in there, and it's fun. It was really fun. And here's the bad thing: my son loved it, and we were sitting out on the back, and she brought him down like an antique Ouija board to look at, which was cool. It was really nice of her.
I like the aspect of it's in a great location. It's all there together. So some groups you'll have an event in a building 4 blocks over. Then you got to go back over here. You can do everything right there. It's absolutely ingenious.
And you know what we played with there at the museum out in the courtyard? And you know the old psychic cards like they had on Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Where you flip, you have to pick what it was.
I could be able to tell you the name of the test.
She gave us those cards to play around with too, which that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a.
She tries to give you the money's worth.
She was very she was very accessible and answered questions, and I mean,
And it's the interaction part, just like you said, of getting to see all that stuff, getting to you got to play with the cards. Man, that's great. I mean, fantastic marketing.
Yeah.
You can't ask for no better than that.
Cannot.
I like you saying like maybe we should have been in it for the money a little bit tells me you didn't think that idea entirely through. Can you imagine having to do that every day? You would go insane.
I would probably go insane. Yeah.
You wouldn't be able.
Yeah.
That's not you.
No, it's not. And I'm completely fine where we're at right now. Is that I think we've always worked better behind the scenes.
Bent over.
That's where we. You like being bent over? What?
What?
What are you talking about? I'm so confused. Huh? Please don't say you're hard.
I'm hard.
Don't.
We was all eating. We was all at a restaurant eating, and Hump was having small talk with our waitress who we made friends with since we eat there all the time.
Yeah.
And during the conversation, I don't know what he was trying to say, but he was looking at her and said, "I'm hard."
I mean,
I don't know.
And it was just so out of the blue, and he didn't mean it in a dirty way, but it was said.
Yeah.
Oof. There's just not really a way.
Yeah.
There's not a way you can say it and not be creepy.
There's no way.
It was horrible.
It's like, you gonna get in the van now, or I'm gonna force you later?
Yeah, and then we got into the serial killer
Does anybody want to help me move some furniture?
Yes.
Golly.
Your skin looks really nice.
But as always, I'm definitely ready to go back to New Orleans.
Yeah. as soon as you get back, you want to go.
Yeah, it's just a different feeling. You just go there and you can escape. It's the place to be.
I'm like the biggest homebody ever, and and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Especially if you get into the quieter
Yes.
portions of the French Quarter.
What really sucks
nice.
now about New Orleans, and this is my only gripe, is that everybody's on bicycles.
What?
Everybody's on bicycles.
In the quarter?
Yes, and they even rent like these blue bicycles. I don't know how that works, but there's bicycles everywhere.
I'm thinking about the pavement and how.
They ride it. I mean, it is really
It's
irritating.
like mountain biking.
The bicycles is horrible. They're everywhere.
So, where do they ride? In the street?
In the street. And now, like, in the other parts, some parts of, like, Esplanade and so on, they got bike lanes now in the middle of the street.
That's what they were building.
Yeah, that's it.
They're trying to be like New York with the bikes.
It is not made for that.
It's too small.
They ride out in front of cars. I mean, it is just,
I could see people getting very hurt.
It's just, I couldn't believe it. That's the most irritating
Those
thing.
uneven flagstones, just hitting one of them good with a bike and just eating it.
Because, I drove a lot more than I normally did because I was showing tires around. We went to the Garden District, went to that Lafayette Cemetery No. 2 and a lot of things, just showing them around. I was dodging bicycles and the profanities was flying.
What I kind of want to do is get a good balcony, like sort of on the Lafitte's guest house balcony.
Yes.
And just watch people get drunk and just wreck bicycles.
And that could happen. Now, it's going to happen. I mean,
there's no way it doesn't happen daily.
No, not at all.
Lots of them.
So I know that's just one of the first topics I wanted to talk about. And Humpy, I know you got some. You ready?
Yes, it's been a weird week. How's your week actually really been?
My week has been, as always, it's kind of good when you come back from New Orleans because you kind of decompress a little bit. I'm in a weird state where I'm basically just rolling with the punches. I'm fine. I know that there's a plan and I'm just good. I really am.
I think maybe even you guys can attest. My attitude's a lot better than it was last week.
Yes, last week you was struggling. I was worried about you.
Very, very much. Yeah, I'm much better off.
I'm glad you definitely. What's some of the things else we're going to talk about tonight, Humpy?
Let's just chat about it, but let's don't go into depth about the Ozark.
All right, what you want to talk about?
Let me tell you what's been weird.
Okay.
Of course, talked to my friend Ann, who was a friend of Judd's, and Judd died a few weeks ago. How about she sent me a message about telling me about this hillside, the country, the barn, a red cape.
Well, before you get too far, let's not gloss over Judd. Let's give him a little bit. We got time.
We hadn't even talked about Judd. It seemed like we did a show and talked about Judd.
I don't feel right glossing over him.
Well, I can tell you that over the years that we've lost some of the members of our family and our team. And recently, a good friend of ours and a member of our team, Judd Messer, passed away. And it was, I would say it's kind of sudden. Because, this time last year we was working a case.
In Clinton.
And it was working a case. And the strange thing about Judd is that, like Hump mentioned it, is that you never realized how much you really talked to him. And how much he was a part of your life. And with me, it seemingly like he would send stuff that would get me to thinking again. It's almost like when my spiritual light would go out and I would get dumbed down to all the worldly things going on in my personal life, is that he would send me a message, and it's almost like that message was just for me to get my light back going again, to get me thinking about things. And he was always a special person. We met him several years ago he owned a restaurant. And it was haunted. We did several shows there. We did live internet investigations there. Had a lot of weird occasions. And we actually worked, I guess, our first time with authorities on cold cases.
Yeah.
Had a lot
Some
of
cold
stuff
cases for the
blossom
police
out of that.
department.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been around. And it was funny, I saw Chuck McClellan
Yeah.
this week too, and he remembered that the live show that we did at his restaurant.
Yeah.
But also tell the people about there's another story to it about the girl.
Yeah. When we all did the investigation, we talked about the ghost was actually a young lady that was seen in the restaurant, and she would do kid things. We can tell you like our opinions on it, and I always say I don't really believe in the kid ghosts, but that's what he would see there a lot of times. And And I really think now, at the time, I was at the point where I started saying, I don't believe that there's kid ghosts. I don't think that's the reason. But Judd, said there's a kid here, and a little girl got actually ran over in front of his restaurant. And he over the years, he strangely found where the little girl was buried at. Yeah. And he had a weird connection. And she actually is the one that got him started down that spiritual path. And then it sometimes kind of makes you wonder, was she that alien type of entity, which you tell I've been in John Keel mode,
yes.
that led him down that road.
If we're John Keel in it, then aren't they all?
Yes, they all are. I believe that.
I know, I do too.
And and we might need to talk about that because it's funny.
There's so many paths to take at this point.
When I read the first time I read the Mothman prophecies, I got one message from it.
You have to read it multiple times.
The second time, recently, it has it spiked of interest, and it's starting to be your aha moment, which L.A. Mazzulli always talks about, your aha moment. Mm-hmm. That has been my aha moment because that's what we've been talking about all these years.
Yeah.
And we've got the same stories that he encounters. And Judd has the exact same stories tons of emails, and you read back through it.
Which are just strangely, I don't know if it was just me that day, but there's a strange kind of poetry to them.
Yes.
I've kind of been struggling with, do we make them public or not?
I think we do.
I just don't see where he'd care.
No, I think we do. We have to get into it.
Yeah.
We just got to find a way to do it, but I think we do.
Yeah. So you guys be looking out for that then.
Yeah.
But anyway, your friend Ann.
So here goes some strange stuff. So he dies.
Yes.
2 days, maybe 3 days later, Ann sends me a message. Says, hey, just want y'all to know, talk to Judd. Judd's all good. That little girl's with him. And said that he'd be in contact with us soon. I go, all right. So you then she starts telling me stuff that me and Judd talked about a year ago. I was like, only me and Judd would know that. Said everything's good. So I'm freaking out about it. Then she starts talking about other things. Well, all of a sudden the case comes in. I thought that was very strange. I said, wow. Because, we've worked cases where we've had people come to us that's passed.
Yes.
Like Pastor Perry.
Sure.
Eric. James Kirkley.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I'm like, wow, this is really cool because finally, I'm getting, it's a personal thing to me. And then I started going back and I went back to the messages that me and Judd had talked about over the years. And it was amazing how much we talked, because I turned around and called Sean and said, hey Sean, did you realize how much we all talked to Judd? Sean was like, yeah, I checked my, you look at your messages and conversations. So Ann was telling me other things and I was like totally blown away with it. All right, so this week she sends me about the hillside, the barn, a trunk, something that we missed in the trunk. And I'm like, man, this is strange. And something about candy and all that stuff. And I'm just like freaking like, what the hell are you talking about? How about this, Sean?
Yeah.
Wednesday morning. I'd worked all night Tuesday to Wednesday. Went home, slept a couple hours, my phone rings, it's Tyler.
Yeah.
Tyler says, hey man, I need a huge favor. Will you take me to Ozark to pick a truck up?
Yeah.
I didn't hesitate, didn't think about it, that I had no sleep. I rolled over, got out of bed, took a shower, picked Tyler up, rode to Ozark, and guess where we landed?
Where?
2 blocks away from the JB case.
Really?
How about this? Going into Ozark, I looked up and saw a hillside.
Yeah.
With cattle on it, a red barn, and I went into like, holy shit. Like everything she said, here's a horrible picture of it.
Yeah.
I tried driving because it was raining.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, was the vehicle a white vehicle? Or do you know the color of the vehicle?
I don't remember the color. It was a truck, and
but it had a trunk.
No. The car they were found.
The car,
they found in, it had a trunk.
Yeah, it had a trunk.
Yeah.
Man, something about that case and something in that trunk, and she sent information saying that they already knew we were there to investigate it, and we did. We investigated this case over 10 years ago.
Yeah, but we blew our cover as soon as we got there. I mean, the way we jumped right into the fire. We're having speaking with some witnesses,
Yes.
Finding out unbelievable amount of information, having people take us to certain locations, on different theories. I mean, it really went wide open.
With this gets even weirder.
Yeah.
So Tyler's buying this truck from this guy. I just go, hey man, how long have you lived here? Well, I was born and raised here, and then I left in the military. I come back, blah, blah, blah. I said, so hey, what do you about the murder of the 2 girls here?
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, it was politically done. They all covered it up here, and somebody got killed over it. And I'm like,
Yeah, the one of the suspects, the judge's grandson, committed suicide.
how about this? How about another politician person tried to investigate it and got jumped going to their car, and nobody knows who did it?
Really?
Got beat up bad. And he goes, yeah, that's been covered up for years here. That's their neighborhood like laugh. That's what happened.
Really?
And I am freaking out. I'm like, wow. So, but what it was us going back to research that case.
You know, I've always, there was a case that I'm gonna bounce back from Judd to another case. We had another case that we worked. That the last time I talked to Judd, the young man that went missing kept coming back to him. The case outside in Georgia, and it's similar to almost this case with those young ladies. Is that we investigated it. We've got unbelievable amount of information. I remember I got really sick, got put in the hospital, and we kind of got away from it. And there's been numerous times where we did an event in Atlanta with one of Frank Simpson's Ghost Boxes, one of Chip Coffey's events, and in the middle of nowhere, it was like, hey, it's JB, did y'all forget about us? And it's like we're constantly reminded to go back to it. I've always wanted to kind of go back and write about it and investigate it and really look into it, really, really look into it. And the question I have, Hump, and honestly, have you talked to Ann a lot before, or does she just contact you?
Hey, this is what was creepy as shit. And I can't make this shit up.
Yeah.
I've not heard from her since we worked a case in Pensacola, and I go back, and it was over 14 years ago.
See, that's amazing. See, when Hunt mentioned her name, I knew exactly who she was, which is strange because the way my memory is a lot of the people. And we actually were we there working a cold case?
We were there working a cold case. And matter of fact, if I'm
Because
not mistaken,
I know for a fact we
went back
we got her
twice,
permission in regards to some of the stuff when we was there working the cold case about the lady that was murdered.
Correct. But we'd gone back twice.
Yes, twice. Yeah.
One with Rick and Trey.
Yeah.
Because she still remembers us. We met at that restaurant.
Yeah, the Irish place.
Yeah. So it was strange. It was strange. The whole week's been strange like that. But that case is unbelievable.
Well, I mean, what would you want to do? Would you want to get back and look into that case?
I don't know. I don't know how we could. I don't even know how we could even tap back into it other than going back down there and just.
The only way to do it is put boots on the ground. There's no other way to do it. Is go around and ask questions.
If I'm not mistaken, the murder now is over 20 years old.
It is.
Unsolved.
It's unsolved. There's a lot of different theories, a lot of different things out there.
Yep, very strange.
And we know, I still remember a lot of stuff that's not public knowledge. That's amazing that we caught.
Yeah. It has grown up. Like that whole area has grown up. The McDonald's where we were at has had a remodel.
Yeah.
When you go back down the street and stuff, there's a few buildings that's been built that wasn't there when we went there.
Yeah.
It's just been, man, but it was like so real because I was wore out tired.
Yeah.
And when he called, I didn't hesitate, didn't think about it. And hell, I was in Troy before you knew it.
Yeah.
And it was so weird. And then all of a sudden I'm driving, I see that and I go, everything that was said to me is right here.
Yeah. But the young ladies was seen at a barn at a party that night. We interviewed that. There's tons of things that we can go down that avenue.
Yeah, gas station footage.
Gas station footage.
But definitely, a couple of shows ago we were talking about where we needed to be, where were we going, all these thoughts that we had for 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And growing
Absolutely was told to us, we're definitely in the right place where we're going, the way we're going. And I thought that was great. I thought it was a lot of validation for me. Because Judd keeps telling me to stop worrying about everything. Like I worry about everything.
Yeah.
He said, you got to chill. But we're definitely in the right direction. And I thought that was so cool that all that come through, because Judd was such a good guy. He really was.
As far as Ozark's concerned, growing up, I was always told to stay away from there.
That's basically kind of what this guy said politics, the way they've done things in the past, and he lives there.
Yeah, it's always
taboo
been known as just a crap hole. My boss actually went to, he lived there going to flight school, I think, actually.
At Rucker?
No. I can't remember exactly where he went. I think it was like a Dynacore type thing. Learning to work on airplanes, that sort of thing. But that was it was way before JB and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And Sean, I'm having a lot of trouble. JB Beasley and who else?
Tracy Pollock.
Do we never hear from Tracy?
We don't. It's always been JB's led the...
That's what I was thinking. I'm trying to kind of remember everything.
Yeah. It's always been JB. Has been the dominant one. Like, she definitely wants something
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think with the stories we've heard and everything else, that fits her.
Because there's two things that happened that really stuck with me, because I obviously heard about it growing up in Enterprise, which is not that far away. Was that case, and the case where the 4 or 5 black teenagers went missing.
Walmart.
And were found in Florida.
Why can't we find out a lot of information on that?
You can't find anything, and I know one of them.
No.
Because that when we was down there investigating that, we was in that Walmart, and it was after midnight. Walmart was open 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And we was in there, and David struck up a conversation with the cashier.
Yeah.
And the cashier listening literally was upset, saying, "Why don't y'all look into this?
Yeah.
Why hadn't y'all looked into this?"
Yeah.
And then I was like, I have never heard about it.
Nope.
It was the weirdest
maybe we're
thing.
looking in the wrong place for it. Maybe we need
It's
to
nowhere
look
to
in
be
Florida.
found. We looked in Florida. We looked everywhere back then.
And this just might be my brain putting crap together that doesn't belong together. And please, Sean, help me correct it if it's wrong. But didn't they all go missing? And for like 2 or 3 years, nobody knew where they were. But they found the car, and none of their heads.
What the lady told us at the Walmart.
Like there were bodies in the car, no heads.
Yes, that basically they went to a club.
Yeah.
And it was a club that 18-year-olds could get in, and they all went to high school. I think some went to Enterprise, some went to Dothan, and some went to Ozark.
One went to Enterprise, and then because that's the guy I knew.
Yeah, it was 4 of them.
Yeah.
2 boys, 2 girls, I believe.
Right.
And none of them was dating; they were all just friends.
Right. Yeah.
It was the way the story, what she was telling.
That's how I understood it. Yeah.
They went missing, and then the vehicle was found in Florida in a pond.
Yes, that's what I remember.
And their torsos were in the car, but no heads.
Correct. That's what I remember.
Yep.
It just seems so fantastical that you wouldn't hear about that. But around that area growing up, stuff like that just doesn't go anywhere.
It's crazy. I mean, it's something
That whole city's crazy, brother. It's a strange
whole
city.
Like going from Dothan to Enterprise to Ozark and Level Plains. I brought that up.
Level
Like all that little area is nuts.
It is, and it is definitely something we're fixing to tap back into.
We need to.
We could do a whole show on that, and we will in the next few weeks.
Last year that one of my dad's best friends went to jail he's going to die in jail because he was growing acres of marijuana.
No, really.
in Enterprise.
Lord have mercy.
Goodness gracious.
He's going to prison.
My dad was like, yeah, they finally caught him. It's like, oh, so you knew.
Well, you know, I want to roll right into this though, because you know I like pushing the envelope. You know, I like pissing people off, and you know,
Not you.
yes, me, because I'm hard.
Yeah.
Oh.
We know. We
hard.
heard you tell the lady that day.
All right, I had this kind of happen to me. I kind of had this said to me.
Did he have a prize in his pants in the park?
Oh, see that?
No, but he had a candy bar.
It was gonna happen.
Go ahead.
Check
I'm sorry.
this out.
Go ahead.
Why is it that a lot of people in this field usually get attacked by others? And when I say attacked, like they get talked down on, or they go, "You're not a godly guy because you do this." And I'm like, dude, you have no fucking clue, because I'm a really godly guy. Like, I do a lot of silly stuff, but when it comes to that and this, I think I'm very professional. I'm very on point with this. And Sean, check this out. If paranormal definition to me is outside of scientific explanation, such as God, Jesus, and the Holy Ghost, right?
Yeah.
Why do people think that people in the paranormal field are of ungodly people?
Because most of the people in the this is just my honest opinion. It's not an attack on anybody. A lot of people in the church are blinded and they're judgmental, and I think that they lost a lot of credibility over the years because it's just the way it is. But people in our field ask for it to a certain degree because they spend so much time, so much effort, and they're not recognizing and they're not drawing conclusions and getting new ideas of what's really happening out there.
I mean, I agree with you, and I've said it. If people that really know me, they see it on my Facebook, my social media, the church has failed us.
Yeah.
I believe in a higher power. I believe in God. I believe in all that. But the church itself has completely failed our youth.
I'm actually going to just swoop in here with a basketball analogy.
Swoop.
Yeah, go ahead.
When Sean's talking about people in the field kind of bringing it upon themselves, they don't know the fundamentals.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, well, I can dunk. Well, you can't dribble, though.
Yeah.
Jake,
That's
you
exactly right.
really
That's-
hit a grand slam
that's a
with
grand
that, buddy.
basketball analogy.
That's a great
point.
And it's true. You know, I think, the point, I don't even think churches matter anymore as much. But I'll tell you this, and it could be as much as I'm getting older, but I'm at my age now, I'm seeing God's hand in a lot more things than I used to see it.
Amen.
And I know it's crazy
Very much.
because the way the world's going crazy so much, but I can actually see God's being involved and making things happen. It might not be the way you want it to happen, but He's making things happen for you. And as you see that, and you see these blessings, you also see the devil at work. And the devil is working just as hard as God's working. And I think us in this field are not, like Jake said, they don't have the basic fundamentals. And I don't believe in ghosts.
No, I mean...
I don't. And I can tell you in my experience, in my personal experience, and my feelings, my knowledge, is that I absolutely think we're dealing with mimics. Type of alien, type of jinn, whatever you want to call it, which I think we need to take
tons of names.
Yeah, I think that we need to really look into that avenue more and more and try to get it out there a way to explain it a lot better. But I'm not saying I absolutely 100% believe in gods. I believe your loved ones is only a thought away. They're connected to you. They're never leaving you. But do I think a little old lady that used to live here is still here? No. I think there's somebody mimicking that. Same thing with these, you start dealing with these cases. And you know what, we've talked about this case many times, but we hadn't really grasped a lot of things. And I completely remembered something. And it has haunted my dreams. It has. And I'm going to share this with y'all.
It's a case?
Yes.
It's a case.
It's a case.
Okay.
We had a case a long time ago where a principal at a high school contacted Contacted Jake's brother, and we went.
Oh yeah.
We went down. We worked that case. It was a principal. His wife was a teacher, and they're basically moved into an older home. Had some history there, not like no World War II history or Civil War. I don't know why I said World War II, but it was
Local history.
It had local history, and but the family moved in, and they're a Christian family, and they was absolutely being attacked in different ways, where each member of the family was affected differently. And we were so drawn into our own personal lives, the whole paranormal community being involved, wanting to do this. We absolutely walked into a trap, sort of thing, where Jake was on his way down there, hit a deer.
I did.
Yep.
And I remember, and it's so strange that I remember this the way I've remembered it. But it was like me, Chris Perry, all of us sitting there talking to him. And I remember Chris getting angry.
Yes.
And do y'all remember what the guy saying? I will tell you.
Was an old lady?
No.
I don't
He was
remember. I really don't.
He was laying on the couch.
I've written about it.
Him and his wife was having issues. No,
I
we never
remember
wrote
that.
about it.
I remember everything but
what
what he saw.
him and his wife was having issues. And he was sleeping on the couch that night.
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
his son, they basically, I can't remember if they put him away or they sent him away for a little bit.
He decided to go live with, that's how it was put, with a pastor, I suppose.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then he was on the couch. And as he's laid there was a young girl, looked to be about 12 years old, had beautiful blonde hair and blue eyes. Unlike many things, I don't see their eyes, the bangs, he said she's almost angelic. He explained to us, his exact words was, I'm getting chill bumps again, because ever since I remembered it, I don't know why I remembered this. He said she was angelic. And as he seen her, she remember, he saw her and she glided to him. But he sat up, he wasn't dreaming, nothing was taught. And as she started to walk away, remember she walked from the back of the couch to that angle through that room, right? And as she walked away, she had hooves.
Yeah, that's what it was. Before you said it, I remember it. Yeah, I'm completely
She had
covered in
hooves.
chill bumps.
I got chill bumps.
And was there something
Wow,
about
how
the
did you
case
remember that?
that was burnt?
The smell came. You had all the typical stuff, the rotten
Oh
egg
God,
smell.
you're gonna make me remember that. I've got
Yes.
nightmares.
But I remembered this in New Orleans,
Nightmares.
and I've got chill bumps again.
Yes.
Because I was saying I want to go down here and just sit for a couple of days and just work and try to remember some of this
There
stuff.
are people that are laughing at us right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
They're going, they don't know what they're talking about. They're
but
crazy.
man, it's you have to live this
This shit
crap.
is happened.
Yes. But
See, in Mothman prophecies again. There's a certain completely irrational fear that covers you.
Yes.
It sucks.
and this has bothered me, and this is Thursday.
And now it's gonna bother me.
Something else about that case happened.
Thank you,
What else happened besides the deer?
David. There was a
Chris,
lot.
hold on, Chris Perry getting mad.
We're gonna bring up personal into this, David, on this one.
There's a lot of things.
There
that
was
they
a lot
say.
of crazy stuff that
Okay.
happened.
Yeah, David.
There was.
Huh?
You were very intimately involved in that.
I what?
Yeah, you don't remember
That
do
was
you?
the last case Leisha ever went with us. She was leaving.
Oh, yeah.
She was leaving.
Shit, yeah. Damn.
Now you remember.
But
now it's gonna get you.
but that whole case to me,
Man, that was crazy.
I don't know why it had, and they hadn't been one night I hadn't thought about it.
Yeah, I could see that. Crap.
And what gets me
It's weird.
is that
Oh, I can see it now.
all the cases we've been, there's certain cases where things don't fit the norm.
What happened Saturday night? This Saturday night. What happened?
Past Saturday night,
Yeah,
I was
you were
in New Orleans.
What
Yeah.
happened?
you know what? I laid.
Late in the night.
Oh, I will tell y'all. That's a great point. I'm gonna tell y'all later.
Okay,
I don't want to tell it on the air.
it's okay.
But-
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
But
it
the
popped
weird-
in my head, so I had to ask.
the weirdest thing happened Saturday night, and I will tell y'all that's a great point.
Okay.
But that came up, and it's been an issue ever since. And I was saying that a lot of these cases fit the norm, where you say the hooves or she didn't have eyes.
The
Eyes
devil
were black.
cannot hide his hooves.
Yeah, But this little girl was described, she had blue eyes so you could see her eyes, so it contradicts what we normally says.
That's, yeah.
She had a bright glow about herself, angelic, which goes against what we have found over the years in our cases. So that everything about that case was not the norm.
No.
But when she walked away, and she was not ghostly, she was angelic, but she walked away in physical form with the
But what's
That
so
is
creepy is she
100%
glided
Malachi
to
Mark.
him, but walked away. She glided to him.
She glided to him.
She walked away.
and she walked
Why is
away.
that terrifying me?
Is that not crazy? She glided to him so
And guys, this
that he
might,
could see her, and then after knew that
it
he
probably
saw-
sounds stupid to anybody else, but it's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
because that was a crazy ass case.
There's so many. Y'all know, do y'all realize we have personally investigated probably about 300 cases.
Shit, more
Probably.
than that. Three, no. ain't
No,
way.
I'm talking about boots on the ground cases. Like we like heavily investigated. I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna tell you this. And if y'all want to call bullshit on me, please do it.
Okay.
We have handled over 1,000 cases.
Yes,
Like pass through our hands?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
man, I'm still.
Like
I say way more over
cases
1,000.
we've passed on, cases we worked from the distance, cases we advised on.
there was
that-
a while there. It was almost every day.
But the thing is, what have we done with our knowledge?
You're right, Jake. We just talked about this a week or two ago.
And I got a better question. What are we supposed to do with it?
We need to do what we need. We need to get back out and talk about it.
That's about the only thing you can do.
We
with
need
it.
to talk.
Let's
We
pass it
can.
on.
You know what? You know what the thing was? David Hump got us to go meet with a paranormal team, a group that's wanting to organize something, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's a great idea, and I think it's a great thing. But just going back, listening to everybody talk and everything else, we need to share what we know.
It stirs up something in you.
Yes, we need to share what we know. We have an obligation to share what we know. But we have spent so many years where I was like, I want to do this. I want to be a writer. I want to make movies. I want us to go ahead and work on TV treatments. I want us to do this. And we have never, ever said, we're going to do this one thing and we're going to do it right. But the one thing we have always said, and even to this day we're still called, people still poo-poo it with us, is that we're saying it's all connected.
Yeah.
We've always said it. Always said it. And now
the people that we respected said the same thing.
We and I've been reminded of that lately.
Yeah.
We need to get back out and talk about it because the people in the field nowadays don't know it.
There's no mistake that Brad Steiger is quoted in the Mothman prophecies.
No, it's not. No, it's
No
not.
mistake.
I mean, we have got real work to do. And I believe that you're dealing with a lot of these people that commit these murders is that they're possessed. And they're possessed by some of these strange entities that
Yeah,
mimic things.
I've said that for months now.
There's like a coding of things. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Because it's not just like, oh, he's possessed by a devil. It's not that. It's much different.
And Hunt made a comment or asked a question, I can't remember, I think a week or so ago, about, oh no it wasn't, it was this week, about the cases we worked. Well, we got
Yeah.
contacted about a case
Yeah, we
this
just
week.
talked
And
about
we were,
this.
what we was going to do was,
You're good.
what we was going to
reaching.
do with the case is not tell Jake about it, because we didn't want to say he don't feel good, he don't do this.
Yeah.
We were just going to pick him up, make him go.
Okay.
So that's what the plan was with the case. But
You know me well.
yes, that's what we was
Yes,
going
we're
to do.
going to have no excuses.
But
Okay.
But the point was, we was talking about it, and Hunt came up with a thing. How have we always been successful dealing with cleansings and all these dark cases with the variety of people? Because you're
Yes.
dealing with, some people that could be pagans, some people could be Wiccans, some people could be Christians.
Atheists, satanic.
How have we
people.
been? How have we been halfway successful doing it?
I
Right?
only know the truth. Am I supposed to tell the truth?
No, lie, Jay.
No. Let me tell you. Tell me.
Okay.
And the reason why I think it is that we've always been honest about things as much as possible,
Okay, yeah. That's a good way to count it.
respectfully,
Yes.
because you have to handle it respectfully.
Agreed.
We've always empowered the clients,
Agreed.
and we've always, no matter what your belief system is, We've always had an idea what it was and how it comes in. And we use that neutral light and power of our beliefs tied into whatever they may believe to cleanse these entities out.
I completely agree.
Yeah,
I think we are well versed and well schooled and have a lot of knowledge in other religions and other belief systems, and that's what sets us apart from different groups. I think, but with all of us and the team that combined with it, just all of us, we wipe everything out because we are so well versed in other people's problems, and it's amazing. Sean can take on somebody else's problem. I definitely can take on somebody else's problem, but can't fix my own sometimes. I mean, is that not weird? That I can fix your problem, Jake, but I can't fix mine?
That's the story of anybody helping anybody since the beginning of time.
But we've always been able to help others and not help ourselves.
Yeah. Especially, to an exaggerated degree in our circumstance.
But also, we sometimes it takes a flawed individual.
I think it always
So you think that's what we are, Sean? We're flawed individuals who got in this field to help others, and we're just here? Or
I think you have to be flawed to a certain extent to be able to accept the unnatural and try to find a rational explanation to things, because if you're not somewhat broken and not somewhat jaded, you block out the strangeness that we have to bring in to accept.
Or it will break your mind.
Yes. It will
Certain
definitely
realizations would break you.
And we have seen it enough. We've seen enough people in this field to have it to break their minds, break their hearts, and break their life.
It's just...
But is it bad, Sean, to say that I personally enjoy it?
No, I enjoy it.
Is it bad? Think about it. We personally enjoy that.
There's nothing else.
So we're really that screwed up, aren't we?
Well, here's the problem: how we're screwed up.
We're not screwed up. That's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, but here's the problem that us three have, and us three have had and continue to have, is that
A lot of problems. A lot of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we allow the outside world to continue to distract us.
Very much.
And take us away from
Agreed.
what makes us happy and what we're doing. You know what? I was in New Orleans, and I was walking with Tyrus, and it was just us two, and we was talking, and I had the complete feeling of this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I had that image of the case, and I said, I don't know why we stray from what we're good at. And we've always tried to do other things instead of what we can do well and what we're supposed to be doing. And I think that's why we have got to make an asserted effort again in this field, but to do it in a way so we can educate others and us continue to educate ourselves. And I think that's something that has to be done. But I think we have too much knowledge not to start sharing.
Agreed.
That is absolutely unbelievable what you just said. Because it was already said 2 days ago. That we let the outside world distract us from what we are supposed to do and meant to do spiritually for others.
Yeah.
That was said a few days ago.
I'm in that really sucky position you had to go through. You have to completely reinvent everything.
You do.
Sucks.
It's tough. But you know what?
Got to do it.
You got to do it. You got to do it. And
No
it's
choice.
okay. It's part of the process. We got to do it.
Yeah. This is part of living.
But you know, we're re-releasing a book for the last time.
Yeah.
We're gonna fix to having a website coming up.
Can I hold you to that one?
What?
Last time. This is 4th edition.
Let's be this.
I'm just messing with you.
We have battled over and over for us to do it the way we're finally doing it. I've been trying for years to do it this way.
You know, that's a good point. Me and you have both been totally fine doing it this way.
Yeah. That's the way it should have been done all along.
Yeah.
And now we're finally doing it the way it should have been done.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm good with it. So now I can,
It can rest.
Yeah, it can rest now, finally.
Got it.
And then we got a website coming, and then I think we've got tons of projects that I want us to work on. I want us to work on a presentation again and start speaking. I think that's the direction we go. Even if it's at a library, even if it's at anywhere, that's what I want us to start doing.
I wonder, you think the audience is still there?
You know what? I don't care. Here's
I'm not
the
saying
thing.
I do. I'm just.
I know. No. Let me correct it. The audience is not there, but the interest from intelligent people is still there.
Will always be there.
And there is a new group of young people that is starving for something that they're not getting anywhere else around, and it's the truth. And what we want to share, if you're interested in this field, we want to share with you what we know from our experience and why we believe it. And I think we have that way to do it.
Yeah.
The investigative, and I might upset somebody, and I apologize. Let me tell you, anything I say, oftentimes over the years I've said, okay, I'm wrong. We're going to do it. I think we need to do it this way. But the time period of you going to little Larry's house to investigate the ghost in his house, and the let's say like the poltergeist phenomenon that's going on, or all this, is over. The cases that you have now is the individuals. Should have always been on the individuals, and we've always teetered back and forth, but I'm completely convinced it's the individuals. What is the root of the issues? Where we need to look into, and I think that's that's kind of the direction you're going in.
You have to completely open up your frame of reference.
Yes.
And not assume anything.
Exactly. If you want to investigate something, all you have to do is go out the door nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
It's changed.
It's a miasma.
But, it's an exciting time to be where we're at.
Yeah, I agree with you with that. The projects and everything going on that we've got, it is exciting to be back in it. To not only to share our stories, to talk to friends that have known me for 15 or 20 years that had no clue that we did this.
Yeah.
I've talked to a few people a week or so ago about, hey, I didn't even know you did this, but I've checked it out. I've listened to all your radio shows. I've checked, I've seen what y'all have done. Didn't know you did it. So I think there is an interest there again, or people want to hear our stories.
Yeah.
People love a good story. So what do you think about that, Mr. Jake?
Still trying to kind of make sense of everything. I don't know that this is the format. I don't know.
Well, the format of us doing this show is
it's necessary.
It's a step in the ladder that we need.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm completely 100% convinced that we need to get out back in the field again.
Yeah.
And we need to approach it differently. But our avenue needs to be educating by doing speaking engagements and sharing our knowledge and everything else from that. But at the same time, still being in the field and investigating things in a different way. Because, like I said, the cold case stuff, there's connections to everything that we need to start looking into.
Agreed.
But are we going to go down another avenue tonight? We're going to go ahead and wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up. All right, for our listeners, if you have questions that you want to ask us, we can answer them on the air, send them to my Facebook account email or inbox me. Or you can also send messages on our Facebook page, Midnight at the Crossroads Radio. Please add us to your YouTube subscription.
Or you can just leave a comment.
Yeah, click on it, and every week you'll hear the new show. It'll be via YouTube and Facebook. Also, projects coming up, new cases coming up. We have a few new storylines that we want to talk about in the next couple of weeks. And also, maybe we're going to have an online store so you can purchase items from us. A lot of stuff in the works. Check us out, Midnight at the Crossroads Radio Facebook, Midnight at the Crossroads YouTube. Sean Sellers is going to have a book out, and we're going to have a special guest, I hope, next week. We're going to try to get a special guest next week. So I appreciate everybody that's on my Facebook page that checks out the radio. And it's always a pleasure talking to people.
That's it. Good night, guys. Love you.
Good night.